Hello, my name is Kanomi. We're going to be learning some useful Japanese phrases and the Japanese culture that can be read from these words. こんにちは、私の名前はこのみです。これから一緒によく使われる日本語と、それから読み取れる日本の文化について学んでいきましょう。So today we're going to learn how to introduce ourselves. Let's start off with Hello, my name is. こんにちは、私の名前はこのみです。I just said, hello, my name is Kanomi. And if you're meeting someone for the first time, you would say, はじめまして。Nice to meet you. よろしくお願いします。I hope to build a good relationship with you. Now, you wouldn't say this in English, but it's a very common Japanese greeting. For instance, if I move into a new town and it's my first day of school, I would say to my new classmates, はじめまして。私の名前はこのみです。よろしくお願いします。Or if I get a new job, I would say to my new coworkers, よろしくお願いします。So let's try this again. はじめまして。私の名前はこのみです。よろしくお願いします。はじめまして。私の名前は Your name? です。よろしくお願いします。So try out these phrases next time you meet someone. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today, we're going to work on onomatopoeia, which comes up very often in Japanese. It's difficult to have a conversation without them. Let's start off with wak wak, the name of our program. Wak wak expresses the feeling of excitement and happiness. Wak wak suru. I'm excited or I'm happy. Suru is am in this context, and you would normally add it after onomatopoeias, although they can be uttered alone. Wak wak suru. For example, if you're excited about this upcoming concert that you've been longing for, you would say wak wak suru. Next one, doki doki. Doki doki expresses a nervous state of mind. Nervous but excited at the same time. Doki doki is mimicking the sound of heart thumping. For example, if you're waiting in line to get on this huge roller coaster, you would say doki doki suru. Or if you're getting ready for your first date, you would say doki doki suru. One last onomatopoeia of the day, ira ira. Ira ira expresses anger and impatience. Ira ira suru. For example, if you're in a restaurant and you can't order because the waiters are chit-chatting, you would say, イライラする. So try these phrases next time you want to express these feelings. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today we're going to learn how to say good morning, hello, good evening, and good night. You'll be able to greet people any time of the day. Let's start off with good morning. おはようございます。おはようございます。Or more casually, おはよう。おはよう。You would normally say おはようございます to your professors or your boss, and おはよう to your friends. Next, hello. こんにちは。こんにちは。For a casual hey, people would often say やっほー or よ。So if you want to say, hey, how's it going? You would say, Yahoo, genki. Next, good evening. こんばんは。こんばんは。If you're invited over to a neighbor's barbecue dinner, you would greet them with こんばんは. And finally, good night. おやすみなさい。おやすみなさい. Or more casually, おやすみ。おやすみ. Let's add one more word so we can wrap this session up. Goodbye. さようなら. さようなら. Or to be more casual, you can say bye bye or またね. So try out these phrases next time you greet your friends. 次回もお楽しみに. またね. こんにちは、このみです。Today, we're going to learn how to say a very common phrase when you greet somebody. Let's learn how to say, how are you? お元気ですか?お元気ですか? Or if you want to be more casual, say you're asking a friend, you would say 元気? For instance, if you run into a professor and you want to know how he or she is doing, you would say 先生、お元気ですか? How are you doing, professor? Or if you run into a friend and you want to say, how's it going? You would say 元気? And to answer, you would say 元気 if you're doing well. Or if you want to say so-so, you say まあまあ. And if you're having a bad day, you would say 元気じゃない. So try out these phrases next time you meet somebody and you want to know how they're doing. Or even if you don't, it's nice to ask. お元気ですか? Or 元気? 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today, we're going to learn how to say excuse me and thank you. Very simple and very handy. Let's start off with excuse me. すみません。すみません。For example, if you're shopping and you want to ask the shop clerk how much something is, you would say すみません。Excuse me. これはいくらですか? How much is this? すみません。これはいくらですか? すみません also has the meaning I'm sorry, so if you bump into someone on accident, you would say すみません. Next word. Thank you. ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。If someone holds the door for you, you would say ありがとうございます。If you're talking to a friend, you can be more casual and say ありがとう. So next time you want to call out to someone, say すみません and to thank somebody, ありがとうございます or ありがとう。次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today, we're going to learn more common phrases that are particular to the Japanese language. Let's start off with お疲れ様です。This is a greeting that is used in various settings. It expresses consideration towards others and shows attention towards their good work. You would say this to your teammates when you finish your sports practice or your coworkers when you're heading out of the office. And if you're saying this to a friend, you can be more casual and say お疲れ様. For example, if I finish a group work with a few of my classmates, I would say お疲れ様. And if I'm heading out of the office, I would say to my boss お疲れ様です. It's like saying a goodbye to someone you know you'll meet again soon. So try out this word next time you part with someone. It's a very common phrase. Another word we're going to work on today is もったいない. This is a word that refers to a sense of regret concerning waste when the value of something is not being utilized. You can utter the word もったいない on its own as an exclamation when something useful such as time or food is being wasted. It roughly means, oh, what a waste. For example, if you're throwing away a stack of paper that's printed only on one side, I would say もったいない because you can still use it as scratch paper. So try out this phrase next time you see your friend throwing away food. もったいない。次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today we're going to learn how to say I like something and I don't like something. Let's start off with I like. Say you want to say I like movies. Movie is 映画。私は映画が好きです。私は映画が好きです。Or if you want to say I like music, music is 音楽。私は音楽が好きです。私は音楽が好きです。Or I like shopping. Shopping is 買い物。私は買い物が好きです。私は買い物が好きです。Now for the things you don't like. Say you don't like the rain. Rain is 雨。私は雨が嫌いです。私は雨が嫌いです。Or if you want to say I don't like vegetables. Vegetable is 野菜。 私は野菜が嫌いです。私は野菜が嫌いです。So try out these phrases next time you want to let someone know what you like and what you don't like. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today we're going to learn two phrases. The first one, where is the somewhere? And the second one, I don't understand. Because you're not going to understand many things when you first go there. That's part of the excitement. Let's start with where is the. Say you want to go to the bathroom. It's urgent. Where's the bathroom? トイレはどこですか？トイレはどこですか？どこですか indicates where is the. So if you want to ask where the station is, station is 駅。駅はどこですか？駅はどこですか？ Next phrase. I don't understand. わかりません。わかりません。So if you ask where the station is and you're showered with directions in Japanese, you can say, I don't understand Japanese. 日本語がわかりません。日本語がわかりません。So next time you want to ask where something is, you can put that word in the beginning of the sentence, say station, 駅, and ask, 駅はどこですか? And if you don't understand something, try わかりません。次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today we're going to learn some words that come in handy when you go out to eat. First, when you enter a restaurant or a cafe, the staff will greet you with いらっしゃいませ, which means hello or welcome. It's a customary word to welcome customers in shops and restaurants. You can respond by bowing lightly or saying hello, こんにちは. When you want to ask about something on the menu, you would say, これは何ですか? What is this? これは何ですか? And hopefully what you ordered is good, in which case you can exclaim, おいしい, delicious, おいしい. Or if it doesn't taste good, you would say, まずい, it tastes bad, まずい. When you want to ask for the check, you would say, お会計お願いします。お会計お願いします。お会計 check お願いします please. When you walk out of the restaurant, you can say ごちそうさまでした。Thank you for the food. ごちそうさまでした。So try out these phrases next time you go out to eat. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today, we're going to learn some words that express feelings. Let's start with happy. 嬉しい、嬉しい. I can exclaim 嬉しい on its own to say I'm happy. How about sad? 悲しい、悲しい. If you say you're sick and tired of learning Japanese, I would say 悲しい. Or how awful, ひどい. One last word of the day. I'm surprised. びっくりした。びっくりした。For example, if you go to Japan and you make lots of friends, when it's time for you to come back, they throw a surprise party for you. You open the door and they yell, surprise! You would say, びっくりした。So try out these phrases to express your feelings. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today, we're going to learn some common phrases that are particular to the Japanese language. Let's start off with 懐かしい. 懐かしい means to bring back memories or the feelings of nostalgia. For example, the other day when I was playing with my cousin's children, they took out their coloring books, which reminded me of my childhood. And I said 懐かしい. Another word, 頑張って. 頑張って means give it your best or good luck. This can be used in various situations, such as when somebody's off to take an exam or off to work or heading out to their baseball game. If you're on your way to take a Japanese exam, I would say to you, 試験頑張って, which means good luck on your exam. So next time you come across a situation where it reminds you of something, say 懐かしい. And if you want to cheer someone, say 頑張って. 次回もお楽しみに. またね. こんにちは、このみです. Today we're going to learn some words that come in handy when talking on the phone. First, when you pick up the phone, you say hello. In Japanese, you would say もしもし. もしもし. This doesn't mean hello, which is こんにちは. You only use もしもし when you answer the phone. And when the caller identifies him or herself, you can follow with some of the phrases that we've covered in the past, such as how are you? お元気ですか? お元気ですか? Or if you're talking to a friend, you can be more casual and say 元気? And if you want to ask what is it, you would say どうしましたか? どうしましたか? Or more casually, どうしたの? When you finish talking, you can thank the person by saying ありがとうございます. Thank you. ありがとうございます. Or more casually, ありがとう. One last word, goodbye. さようなら. さようなら. So next time you pick up the phone, say もしもし and try out these other phrases. 次回もお楽しみに. またね. こんにちは、このみです. Today we're going to learn how to say congratulations, happy birthday, and yay! Very fun words. Let's start off with congratulations. おめでとう。おめでとう. For example, if your friend gets accepted to a school or is offered a job, you would say おめでとう. How about happy birthday? 誕生日おめでとう. 誕生日おめでとう. 誕生日 is birthday and おめでとう is congratulations. 誕生日おめでとう. Along with these festive words, you may feel like yelling out, yay! In which case, you would exclaim, やった! やった! So next time you hear good news, yell out, やった! And when it's someone's birthday, say, 誕生日おめでとう! 次回もお楽しみに! またね! こんにちは、このみです. Today, we're going to work on weather-related words. You want to watch the weather forecast in the morning and understand what it's going to be like, right? So, first of all, weather is 天気. 天気. And if it's raining outside, rain is 雨. 雨. If I ask you, what's the weather like? You can answer 雨. And if it's cloudy, 曇り. 曇り. And if it's sunny, 晴れ. 晴れ. If it's snowing outside, 雪. 雪. If you want to say it's hot or it's cold, hot is 暑い. 暑い. And if it's cold, cold is 寒い. 寒い. So remember these 天気 words so you can decide what to wear for the day. 次回もお楽しみに. またね. こんにちは、このみです. Today we're going to learn some words that you would use when leaving the house and coming back home. Let's start off with I'm leaving. 行ってきます. 行ってきます. You would say 行ってきます on your way out to school. Or if someone says 行ってきます to you, you would say 行ってらっしゃい. 行ってらっしゃい, which roughly means take care. 行ってきます and 行ってらっしゃい, they're very common words. Next, when you come back home, you would say ただいま. ただいま, which means I'm home. Or if someone says ただいま to you, you would respond おかえり, which roughly means welcome home or welcome back. おかえり. ただいま and おかえり are also very common greetings. So try out these phrases next time you're leaving the house and coming back home. 次回もお楽しみに. またね. こんにちは、このみです. Today we're going to work on directions. You may get lost in Japan and may need to ask for directions. Let's start off with right, left, and straight. Right is 右 右 Left is 左 左 Straight is まっすぐまっすぐ And if you want to say to turn, turn is 曲がる曲がる So let's say you're in a cab and you want to give the driver directions. Turn right is 右に曲がる右に曲がる Turn left is 左に曲がる左に曲がる Go straight is まっすぐ行くまっすぐ行く So remember these words 右、左、まっすぐ、曲がる to know your directions 次回もお楽しみにまたねこんにちは、このみです Today, let's learn some phrases that come in handy when you go shopping. First, how much is this? is これはいくらですかこれはいくらですか And if you want to know what something is, what is this? is これは何ですかこれは何ですか And if you want to buy something, I'll take this is これをくださいこれをください Now, これ is this, indicating something that's around you. But if you're pointing to something that's closer to the person you're talking to, you would use それ that. それは何ですか What is that? それをください I'll take that. And if you're pointing to something that's near neither of you, you would use あれあれは何ですか What is that? あれをください I'll take that. So try out these phrases so you can enjoy shopping. 次回もお楽しみにまたねこんにちは、このみです Today we're going to learn how to say let's go do something. How about let's go out to drink? Go is 行く Let's go would change the 行く form to 行こう Let's go out to drink. 飲みに行こう飲みに行こう Let's go eat sushi is お寿司を食べに行こうお寿司を食べに行こう Let's go eat ramen ラーメンを食べに行こうラーメンを食べに行こう How about let's go to somewhere? Put that somewhere in the beginning of the sentence. For example, let's go to Starbucks. スターバックスに行こうスターバックスに行こう Let's go to the park. Park is 公園公園に行こう公園に行こう Let's go to the beach. Beach is 海海に行こう海に行こう So put wherever you want to go in the beginning of the sentence and add に行こう海に行こう So learn these phrases so you can ask someone out 次回もお楽しみにまたねこんにちは、このみです Today we're going to learn some phrases that you would use when visiting someone's house. First, when you enter a house, you would say お邪魔します The literal translation is I'm going to bother you, but it's actually a casual phrase that you would use to say I'm coming in or thank you for having me over. お邪魔します Now, if you're going to a party or if you're going to spend a night, it's very common to bring a small gift, like sweets. When you hand it to the host, you would say つまらないものですが The literal translation is it's something boring or it's nothing, but it's a phrase that you use to mean here's a small gift for you. つまらないものですが So you use it even if it's far from boring or even if it's the finest gift you can find. Super modest. Lastly, when you're leaving someone's house, you would say お邪魔しました This is the past tense of お邪魔します So the literal translation is I have bothered you. But again, this interprets to thank you for having me over. お邪魔しました。お邪魔します and お邪魔しました are customary words and are used in casual and polite settings. つまらないものですが goes up a notch and is used in a rather formal setting, like if you're being hosted by a family. So try out these phrases so you can visit your friends and acquaintances. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。
皆さんこんにちは。エリンです。聞こえますか？聞こえますか means can you hear in Japanese. The more casual version of this is 聞こえる. In a future episode of Waku Waku Japanese, we'll be answering your questions. Question in Japanese is 質問 and to ask a question is 質問する. So post away any questions you have for us or anything you want us to clarify. Answering a question is 答える in Japanese. Oh, and by the way, keep the questions nice and clean. Thank you. お待ちしています. We'll be waiting. 次回もお楽しみに. またね.
こんにちは。このみです。Today, we're going to learn colors in Japanese. First of all, color is 色. 色. So let's cover some basic 色. Red is 赤. 赤. Blue is 青. 青. Green, 緑. 緑. Yellow, 黄色. 黄色. And purple, 紫. 紫. Brown, 茶色. 茶色. Black, 黒. 黒. And white, 白. 白. Now pink and orange is ピンク and オレンジ. It's pink and orange except it's pronounced in a Japanese way. There are exclusive Japanese words for these colors, 桃色 for pink and 橙色 for orange, but they're not used very often. Pink and オレンジ is much more common. As such, there are many adopted words in Japanese. So if you come across a situation where you don't know the Japanese word, try saying the English word slowly and emphasize the last syllable. There's a good chance it's used in Japan. For example, coffee is コーヒー, sport is スポーツ, and ball is ボール, and the list goes on. I hope you can relate to Japanese more now. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today, let's learn some pop culture words. First, Japanese people are all about かわいい. かわいい means cute, lovely, and adorable. Japanese girls love かわいい fashion, かわいい behavior, and even かわいい cell phone decorations. It's all about being かわいい. For example, if I go shopping with my girlfriends and one of them tries on a pretty dress, I would exclaim かわいい to say it's pretty. Or if you're a guy, you can say かわいい to a girl to flatter her. Or if you're a girl, you can say かわいい to compliment each other. You can use it to a guy too if something he does is cute or sweet. However, a much more common expression for a guy would be かっこいい. かっこいい, which means cool or good looking. When a girl says he's cute in English, it's closer to かっこいい rather than かわいい in Japanese. かっこいい, as it is in かわいい, can be used for things other than people too. For example, a cool website can be かっこいい, or an action movie can be a かっこいい movie. かっこいい映画. Now let's learn a word with a negative connotation. 寒い. 寒い. 寒い means cold, as in the weather is cold. However, in recent years, it's been a trend to say 寒い when somebody says a bad joke. It means lame or stupid joke. However, it can have a positive connotation. For example, if you say a joke, I can say samui to say, what are you saying? Or haha. It's like rolling your eyes and smiling at the same time. Keep in mind that this is a slang, and trendy words in Japan come and go very quickly. So, try out these catchy words to make your conversations with friends more fun. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today, we're going to work on words that indicate that you're listening, or words that show that you're agreeing with the person you're talking with. They're very colloquial expressions, but they come in handy when you're talking among friends. The most common listening word in English would probably be uh-huh. So if you're talking and I'm listening, I would go every once in a while. In Japanese, I would say which is an informal word for yes, はい. It's normally repeated twice, So if you're talking, I would say every once in a while to indicate that I'm listening. Next, how about I see? If you're explaining about something, I would go I see or ah. In Japanese, I would say そうなんだ or そうなんだ Now, if you're having a conversation with friends, you would often try to convey your feelings. And when your friends get what you're talking about, you would say, right, or yeah. In Japanese, you would say, そうそう。For example, if I'm explaining to you about something and you rephrase it in your own words, I would say, そうそう。Next, if you want to say, really? That is 本当 in Japanese. 本当? For example, if you tell me that there's a 90% off sale going on at my favorite shop, I would say, really? 本当? And hopefully it's really 本当. One last response word of the day. Let me see is そうね in Japanese. そうね. For example, if you ask me where my favorite spot is in the whole world, I'd have to think about it for a while. I would say, そうね ここ here. So mumble these words when you're talking with friends. They make conversations flow. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today, let's learn some adopted words. 外来語 There are many 外来語 in Japanese. Some good examples are food. Hamburger is ハンバーガー. Coffee is コーヒー. Pizza is ピザ. And Coke is cola from Coca-Cola. Also, some technologies and equipment that have originally been imported from overseas often use 外来語. Escalator is エスカレーター. Elevator is エレベーター. Computer is コンピューター. Internet is インターネット. And many more. There are also words that have been imported from European countries. アルバイト, which is German, means a part-time job. It's a side job that people do outside of their main activity. アルバイト. ズボン, which comes from France, means pants. If you say パンツ, it won't mean pants like your jeans. パンツ refers to underwear. So if you want to say pants, it's ズボン. Another easily confused word is マンション. You think it's mansion, right? Good guess. マンション is apartment in Japanese. It does not mean a huge house. So yes, you can afford to live in a マンション in Japan. So have fun picking up some 外来語. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、このみです。Today, let's learn some words that express personalities. Let's start off with what Japanese people are often referred to as. 真面目. This means earnest and serious. We like to dress properly, be on time, and get things done right. Japanese people are, in general, 真面目. How about funny? 面白い. 面白い. A funny person, in a good way, is 面白い人. 面白い人. If someone asks you, what kind of person is he? You can answer 面白い or 面白い人. Let's go over some more words that describe personalities. Kind is 優しい. 優しい. Mean is 意地悪. 意地悪. Selfish is わがまま. わがまま. Bright and outgoing is 明るい. 明るい. Gloomy and depressing is 暗い. 暗い. 暗い also means dark, as in it's dark outside. Uptight, 神経質. 神経質. And laid back, おおらか. おおらか. Another expression would be のんびりしている. のんびりしている. To say she's laid back, you can say 彼女はのんびりしている. So try out these words so you can express someone's personality. 次回もお楽しみに. またね.
こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。I'm sure everyone has had the experience of going out when you're feeling a little bit under the weather. Then all of a sudden you feel really sick, but you're outside and there's nothing that can be done. So it's helpful to know how to tell another person how exactly you're sick and ask for help as needed. Let's start with something hurts. 頭が痛いです. I just said my head hurts. So 頭 is head and 痛い is it hurts. So if you want to say your stomach hurts, you would replace the head with stomach or 頭 with お腹. And you feel like vomiting, you would say 吐きそうです or 気持ち悪いです to express your discomfort. From here, you have a few options on what to say. You can either ask where a hospital or pharmacy is. 病院はどこですか? 薬局はどこですか? Where 病院 is the hospital and 薬局 is a drugstore. Or you can ask someone to call you an ambulance or hail a cab. 救急車を呼んでください。タクシーを呼んでください。救急車 is the ambulance. Taxi is a cab and 呼んでください is please call. So let's try this again. が痛いです。吐きそうです。気持ち悪いです。病院はどこですか? 薬局はどこですか? 救急車を呼んでください。タクシーを呼んでください。I hope this helps next time you visit Japan as a tourist or go drinking at a Japanese izakaya. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。Japanese is a language filled with many interesting onomatopoeias to describe things ranging from feelings, appearances, day-to-day activities, you name it. There's an exciting onomatopoeia for pretty much everything. So today we're going to learn a select few from our wonderfully vast range of Japanese onomatopoeias. お腹がペコペコ. I just said my stomach is ペコペコ, hungry. ペコペコ is an onomatopoeia that describes hunger. So I'll eat very heartily and enthusiastically at a fast pace. パクパク食べる. パクパク describes a person's mouth opening and closing rapidly, especially when they're eating quickly. Now I have all this energy. I'm gonna exercise, gain lots of muscle. 筋肉, morimori. 筋肉 is muscle in Japanese, and morimori is an onomatopoeia that describes a state of bounty, whether it be swelling muscles or willpower. But I got lazy, so I fell asleep. So I became fat. ブヨブヨになってしまいました。ブヨブヨ is supposedly the sound or feeling of fat bouncing around. ブヨブヨ. And here are some useful ones to describe emotions and facial expressions. Nico nico is smiley face. Nico nico. Nia nia is smirking or grinning. Nia nia. Gera gera is laughing very hard. Gera gera. Shiku shiku is crying. Shiku shiku. Muka muka is when you're angry, but not to the point where you're completely raging. It's more like annoyed or when something's starting to get at you. My favorite onomatopoeia is pyong pyong. It describes little cute creatures like bunnies hopping around. Pyong pyong. There are just so many fun onomatopoeias out there, it's impossible to go through all of them in just one lesson. But if this lesson happens to interest you, pick up a dictionary, look it up online, and dive into the world of wonderful Japanese onomatopoeias. There's bound to be one you'll find that will be your lifelong favorite. Pyong pyong. 次回もお楽しみに。またねー。こんにちは。エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。It's important to know how to say no. No to bullying, no to sexual harassment, and no to discrimination. So today we're going to learn how to say no. No is simply いいえ in Japanese. But saying いいえ to someone or something that's making you feel uncomfortable will not help you at all. It'll be more effective to say 嫌です or ダメです, which literally means I dislike or disapprove. 嫌です is especially useful when someone's trying to make you do something you don't want to do. For example, when a stranger asks you to follow them somewhere. And ダメです is useful to tell someone directly not to do something, like when scolding a young child. If you still feel uncomfortable or displeased, you can say やめてください, which means please stop that. And to further emphasize your discomfort and disapproval for the situation, you can add もう or 本当に in front of these phrases to emphasize how you're not willing to tolerate any more of this. So you would use it like this. もう嫌です. Or you can put both of them in front to show super disapproval by saying もう本当にやめてください. These won't be words you'll be using every day, but they're good to know for when you need them, although I hope you won't have to use them. So watch out on crowded trains and on the streets late at night. Take care of yourself. 次回もお楽しみに。またねー。こんにちは。エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。Japanese people drink a lot of this particular drink. You know what it is? It's tea. So today I'm going to briefly talk about tea and the words related to tea in Japanese. Tea, ocha, in Japanese is such a big deal. There are even art forms or ways of life people practice, such as sado and sencha-do, which are both variants of the way of tea. To drink tea is ocha wo nomu. On the other hand, to brew tea is ocha wo ireru. However, when you're in a traditional Japanese tea ceremony where you're whisking tea powder into hot water, you would say matcha wo tateru in regards to preparing tea. Matcha is a kind of green tea and is often in powder form. It's used in sado, or traditional Japanese tea ceremony. It's also often used in Western sweets. If you see a green tea cupcake or financier, it's usually made using this form of green tea. On the other hand, most other Japanese teas are in tea leaf form. These green teas are often made by steaming and evaporating the moisture out of the leaves. This is called sencha in Japanese. Sencha is prepared by steeping the leaves in hot water in a teapot, which sencha-do, the way of the sencha, tries to perfect. So here are the various types of green tea. Bancha is the green tea that's made out of season tea leaves and are not as high quality. Genmaicha is when roasted brown rice is mixed into the green tea leaves. Hojicha is when the green tea leaves are roasted and has a smoky flavor. There are also other types of common teas that are not brewed from tea leaves, such as the mugicha, barley tea. In some cases, color is used to distinguish the type of tea. Ryokucha is green tea and often refers to Japanese tea. On the other hand, Kocha, which literally means red tea, references Western black tea. And lastly, Hakucha is a Japanese reading of Chinese white tea and refers to a specific type of Chinese teas. I'm sure some of you have had the experience of going into a Japanese supermarket and seeing genmaicha, but could not figure out what it was except for the fact that it was some kind of tea. So I hope this clarified the types of Japanese teas a little bit and interested you to go try more different kinds of Japanese tea. 次回もお楽しみに。またねー。こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。Today we're going to learn words that are related to sightseeing and landmarks. I really enjoy sightseeing and exploring new cities and places. Sightseeing in Japanese is 観光, 観光. Field trip in Japanese is 遠足, 遠足. So let's go on a sightseeing trip around the city. Here are some of the landmarks we have around us. Parks are 公園, 公園. Botanical gardens are 植物園, 植物園. Zoos are 動物園, 動物園. Aquariums are 水族館, 水族館. And libraries are 図書館, 図書館. Museums are generally called 博物館, but ones that specialize in the visual arts are called 美術館. So the Museum of Natural History will be a 博物館, whereas the Metropolitan Museum of Art will be a 美術館. Notice the suffixes of these words. All of these either end with an in or a kan, which denotes whether the attraction is generally outdoors or indoors. In generally refers to a space outdoors, whereas kan generally refers to a building or a structure. And you can combine these words with days of the week and the words let's go to plan an outing with your friends or your date. Because the MoMA is free on Friday evenings, why not plan a visit? 金曜日に美術館に行きましょう。How about a visit to the Bronx Zoo on the weekends? 週末に動物園に行きましょう。Or come to the Japan Society. Japan Society に行きましょう。And what do you do at these landmarks? You take pictures. 写真を撮る is take a picture, where 写真 is photograph and 撮る is to take. And if you want to say, let's take a photo together, you can say 一緒に写真を撮りましょう, where 一緒 is together. Please try using these words next time you show a friend from Japan around the city. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。We live in the 21st century where we have the benefit of using cell phones and directly contacting whomever we want to contact. However, there's always that one time where you have to call the person's home number or company phone, and someone who's not the person you want to contact picks up. So today we're going to learn how to politely start a phone conversation in Japanese. Japanese people really care about this, so it's really good to know. So let's say my last name is Smith, and I want to call my friend Taro Yamada's home number and his mother picked up. I would say, もしもし、スミスです where もしもし is the greeting in Japanese phone conversations. The manner in Japan is to always introduce yourself first before asking for your contact. 山田さんのお宅でしょうか? Here, I'm asking whether this is the Yamada family's household, where お宅 is house or family and でしょうか is a polite way of saying ですか or is it? After checking you're calling the right house, you're finally able to ask for your contact. 太郎さんいらっしゃいますか? Or 太郎さんご在宅でしょうか? いらっしゃいますか means is he or she there? And ご在宅でしょうか means is he or she home? Let's try this again. もしもし your name です。Your contact's name さんのお宅でしょうか? いらっしゃいますか? ご在宅でしょうか? Fun fact, there's also times where you would have to call a company and ask for someone. Then you would say your company name along with your own name. もしもし、ジャパンソサエティのスミスと言いますが. In this case, instead of スミスですが, you would ideally say スミスと言いますが to be more polite. Being polite is one of the most important things when you're interacting with Japanese people, especially in a business setting. Hope this helps next time you're making a call in Japanese. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。When I first started learning English, idioms were mind-blowing and extremely baffling for me. For example, jogging one's memory, pain in the butt, or a piece of cake. There are curious idioms like those in Japanese too, where the literal meaning of the word differs from the actual meaning of the phrase. Here are some of those phrases. へそを曲げる literally means to bend one's belly button, but it actually means to get upset. お茶を濁す means to cloud one's tea, but it actually means to do something half-heartedly. Another idiom like this is 油を売る which means to sell oil, but it implies to goof off when you're supposed to be working. 鼻が高い means to have a high nose, but it means to be proud. Another example using a body part is 顔が広い which means to have a wide face, but it means to be well known and have a lot of friends. Another way of saying this is 顔が利く where 利く means it works. You can also use 利く in other sayings like 酒が利く which means the sake is strong, it does its job. 喉から手が出る describes a state when a hand comes out of one's throat, but it actually implies the state when one strongly desires for something. Some Japanese idioms come from proverbs, ことわざ. The ones that originate from stories from ancient China are referred to as 故事成語. For example, there's the phrase 打足 which can be used to describe something completely unnecessary. This comes from an ancient Chinese tale from the state of Chu, where an art competition was held. The subject the artist had to portray was a snake. One artist finished earlier than all the other artists, thus decided to draw on legs on a snake. As a result, he missed his chance of winning his prize. These kinds of stories often have moralizing messages or kyokun, a highly favored subject among Asian cultures. Try using these idioms next time you're having a conversation with a Japanese person. I'm sure it'll impress them. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは。エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。It's really important to have good work ethics, especially for the Japanese. But sometimes you're just too tired or just not in the mood, and it's impossible to get anything done. Here are some words you can use on one of those days. つまらない means I'm bored. めんどくさい means I'm lazy. やりたくない means I don't want to do it. 興味がない means I'm not interested. 疲れた means I'm tired. 眠たい means I'm sleepy. お腹が空いた means I'm hungry. やる気がない means I have no willpower or intent. もう無理 means I can't take this anymore. And finally, 諦める means to give up. Let's go home, get some rest, and hope the best for the next day. People suffer from this procrastination syndrome can be referred to as だらしがない, which means slothful in Japanese. You can use it to describe someone like this. ミシェルさんはだらしがないです. When someone's struggling and is very inefficient, you can refer to them as being ぐずぐず, which is an onomatopoeia that describes loose, inefficient things. For example, you describe shoes that are a little too big for you as ぐずぐず. You can also use this to gently urge a person to start being productive, like this. ミシェルさん、ぐずぐずしないでください。しない is do not, and ください is please. Thus I'm saying, Michelle, please do not be slow and inefficient. Make sure your boss doesn't catch you mumbling these words at your workplace, or else they will think of you as being ぐずぐず。次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは。エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。私は趣味が料理です。My hobby is cooking. あと、お菓子作りも and baking. 台所にいるときが一番幸せです。I'm the happiest when I'm in the kitchen. 台所 is kitchen. 一番 means number one, and 幸せ means happy. And because I love cooking so much, I try to make bento in the morning almost every day. Yum yum! おいしい! So what do you need when you cook? An apron. Western aprons are simply called epuron, but the Japanese ones you see in Japanese dramas are called kappogi, and the waist aprons are called maekake. By the way, kappo is the fancy word for kitchen, especially in traditional Japanese-style restaurants, and gi means an article of clothing. So now on to the cooking. Rice. Okome is a staple ingredient in Japanese cooking. To make rice is called okome wo taku in Japanese. Dashi, broth, is also an essential. To make broth is called dashi wo toru. Note that rice and broth have distinct verbs that are attached after them. It's not just make, tsukuru. To grill something is yaku or aburu. So if you were to say grill a fish, you would say sakana wo yaku. Boil in Japanese is yuderu. You would use it like this. Tamago wo yuderu. Hard boil an egg. To simmer is 煮る and to simmer down is 煮詰める. The word 詰め implies to do something until the end, until it's perfect. So combining 煮る and 詰める means to simmer down until there's not much liquid left. And to deep fry is 揚げる. So when I say とんかつを揚げる, I mean to deep fry a tonkatsu. Yummy! And when you bake something, as in sweets, it's also called yaku in Japanese. So it's the same yaku for baking a cupcake and grilling meat. Funny, right? Well, here are the things you might do before you throw in your cupcake batter in the oven. Stir or blend ingredients is 混ぜる in Japanese, whereas to whip is 泡立てる. Awa means air bubbles and tateru means to make stand up. So there is a distinction made between just 混ぜる regular mixing and 泡立てる whipping, which is getting as much air into the substance as possible. Now to decorating your cake. Decoration is 飾り in Japanese, and you might create that through squeezing out some whipped cream. 生クリームを絞る. Nama cream is so sweet. 甘い. My favorite. 大好物です. You might understand Japanese cooking shows just a little better now. Oh, and if you have any ideas for future lessons or words you would like to learn, any questions for us, go and post away under the comment section. お待ちしています。みんなありがとう。次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは。エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。わあ、暑い暑い。Although summer is supposedly ending soon, it's still really hot. That's called zansho in Japanese, where the summery weather still lingers into early fall. Zan means remaining and sho means heat, which is literally what the weather is like right now. In Japan, it's a custom to write greeting cards and letters to family and friends called zansho mimai around this time to wish them good health when the climate's like this. というわけで、今日は海に来ました。So that's why I decided to come to the beach today. Going to the beach is 海へ行く in Japanese, and swimming in the ocean is called 海水浴, where 海水 is seawater and 浴 means to bathe or swim. Swimming suits are called 水着, where 水 means water and 着 means an article of clothing. And because I don't want to get sunburnt, I'm gonna go put on some hiyakedome, sunscreen. Hiyake means suntan or sunburn in Japanese. Note that there's no distinction in Japan between a nice tan and getting burnt. Anyways, hi means the sun and yake means to burn. So hiyake in Japanese literally sounds like you're getting roasted in the sun. So let's go on a walk along the beach. The sandy part of the beach is called sunahama in Japanese, where suna means sand and hama means bay. Flip-flops are called bi-san in Japanese, short for the Japanese beach sandal. And I don't think I'm the only one who collects little treasures from the sand and put them in a bucket. So what do we have here? Seashells are called kaigara in Japanese, where kai means shellfish and kara or gara means the outside shell. Sometimes you can find various sea creatures hanging out on the beach. Starfishes are called hitode, crabs, kari, and hermit crabs, yadokari. So let's now go in the water. 冷たくて気持ちいい. I just said it's cool and it feels good. Seawater is salty, しょっぱい, because it contains lots of salt, 塩. Waves are called nami in Japanese, and to ride a wave is nami ni noru, which literally means to ride a wave. To swim is oyogu, and to dive underwater is moguru. What's more rewarding than this on a hot summer's day? いっぱい遊んで疲れました. Oh, I played so much and I'm tired. いっぱい is lots, 遊ぶ is play, and 疲れた is tired. でも楽しかったです. But it was so fun. 夏休みももう終わりか. Oh, summer break's about to end. 残念です. It's such a pity. But make sure you guys enjoy the last few days of summer break. 次回もお楽しみに。またねー。こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。Today we're going to learn words that are useful to know when shopping at the supermarket. First, let's shop in the produce section. Vegetables are called 野菜 in Japanese. Now let's learn some names of the various yasai out there. Radish is 大根 daikon. Carrot is 人参 ninjin. Eggplant is ナス nasu. Corn is トウモロコシ toumorokoshi. Pumpkin is かぼちゃ kabocha. Potato is じゃがいも jagaimo. Cucumber is きゅうり kyuri. And scallions are called ネギ negi. My favorite vegetable is onion. 私の好きな野菜は玉ねぎです。On the other hand, fruits are called 果物. Here are some names of the fruits. Apple is りんご ringo. Strawberry is いちご ichigo. Peach is 桃 momo. Watermelon is スイカ suika. And grapes are called ぶどう budou. And my favorite fruit is cherry. 私の好きな果物はさくらんぼです。Now let's go to the egg and dairy section. Eggs are called 卵 in Japanese. And milk is 牛乳. The meats get a little interesting. Similarly to how beef is used to describe meat that comes from a cow in English, there are different names for the meat and the animal in Japanese. So, 牛肉 or beef is the meat that comes from 牛 cow. 牛肉 ushi. For pork's case, it'll be 豚肉 pork, which comes from the 豚 pig. And for chicken, 鶏肉 chicken meat, which comes from the 鶏 chicken. So we can combine the vocabulary with phrases like please give me to say 鶏肉をください, which means please give me the chicken. Or how much is it to say 卵はいくらですか, which means how much are the eggs. I hope this was helpful. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。
こんにちは、このみです。Today, I'm going to introduce to you some Japanese holidays. First of all, New Year's on January 1st is the biggest holiday in Japan. So know this phrase. 明けましておめでとうございます。Happy New Year. 明けましておめでとうございます。今年もよろしくお願いします。I hope to have a good relationship with you again this year. 今年もよろしくお願いします。So this is a set phrase. 明けましておめでとうございます。今年もよろしくお願いします。Then, in February and March, we have Valentine's Day and White Day. On Valentine's Day, Valentine Day, girls give gifts to guys. And on White Day, which is on March 14th, Howaito Day, guys give gifts to girls. Also, on February 3rd, we have Setsubun. Setsubun is the day before the beginning of spring, and there's a special ritual to cleanse away the evil from the former year by throwing roasted soybeans and yelling out, Oni wa soto, fuku wa uchi. Devil's out, luck in. Oni wa soto, fuku wa uchi. On March 3rd, there's Hinamatsuri, to wish girls well-being by displaying Japanese doll ornaments. In April, it is the Hanami season. where people enjoy the sakura. People gather with friends and family to enjoy the sakura and eat lots of food and drink lots of beer. From the end of April to the beginning of May, there's something called the Golden Week. Golden Week. School is out, people take time off from work. It's sort of like a nationwide vacation week. On May 5th, there is the Children's Day, Kodomo no Hi, to wish boys success by displaying koi-shaped windsocks called koinobori. It's a very colorful holiday. In June, it's the rainy season and it's not very festive. On July 7th, there is Tanabata, the Japanese Star Festival. It celebrates the meeting of Orihime and Hikoboshi, represented by the stars Vega and Altair, which were separated by the Milky Way, but are allowed to meet only once a year on this day. People write wishes and tie them on to bamboo trees. In August, there's Obon. During Obon, the spirits of ancestors are honored. People go back home to have family reunions and clean their ancestors' graves. In September, there's Tsukimi, where people enjoy the autumn full moon. Some of the traditions of Tsukimi include displaying Japanese grass called susuki and having Japanese rice dumplings called dango. In November, there's Shichigo-san. This is a rite of passage for children that are 3, 5, and 7 years old. It is a celebration for girls that are 3 and 7 years old and boys who are 5 and 7 years old. In December, there's of course Christmas, which isn't a traditional Japanese holiday, but is very festive during this time of the season. It's a big couple's day in Japan, somewhat similar to a Valentine's Day in the States. Merry Christmas is Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. At the end of the year, people say to each other, have a good rest of the year. Yoi otoshi wo. Yoi otoshi wo. So remember these holidays so you can enjoy festivals in Japan. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。
こんにちは。エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。The Japanese is very different from other cultures in the sense that we have suffixes to put after people's names, each of them with a different connotation. Some show huge amounts of respect, whereas others are extremely friendly and casual. These are really useful when you're socializing. There would be occasions where you want to be formal, and other times where you want to come across as friendly and approachable, and not too corporate. You know it. It's the san, kun, and chan you hear all the time in anime and Japanese dramas. Let's master these words and their uses, so you don't make an embarrassing mistake in public and are able to be polite and friendly at the same time. The most basic suffix you can add at the end of people's names is san. San is very versatile. It can be applied for people older or younger, close or not so close. You can add it at the end of people's last names or first names. For example, I can call my boss Yamada-san, attaching the san after their last name. But I can also call one of my close friends Taro-san, attaching the san after his first name. Always remember, you're more likely to refer to a Japanese person by their last name than their first names when you first meet them, unless they intentionally introduce themselves by their first name. Chan and kun are used to refer to either people that are relatively close to you or younger than you. You would attach a chan after a girl's name, whereas kun for boys. For example, my mom would call me Erin-chan because I'm younger than her and I'm close to her. My close friends, both my age group and older, would call me Erin-chan as well. Kun is used in a similar manner. However, kun is interesting in the sense that it's occasionally used in corporate settings by superiors to subordinates. For example, even if the subordinate is female, an older male boss may refer to them as Tanaka-kun, attaching kun, a usually masculine suffix after their name. However, the female subordinate would not do the same to their boss. It should be noted that although chan was originally seen as a feminine suffix, it can also be used to endearingly refer to people who are younger than you, even if they're male, or people who are just plain cute. Speaking of cute, you can attach chan after pretty much anything that's cute, even if it's an animal or an inanimate object. For example, Usa-chan to refer to a bunny. And I can call my baby cousin Jiro-chan, attaching chan after his first name although he's a boy. Some boys don't enjoy this kind of treatment, so you gotta know them well. If they're super macho or sensitive about their sexual orientation and such, try avoiding using chan. And finally, this is a suffix you would rarely use in day-to-day conversation. It's the sama, which is only used for formal writing. For example, if you were addressing a letter or an email to your boss or your client and you don't know them that well, you would ideally add sama after their last name. For example, Yamazaki-sama. Sama replaces the Mr. or Mrs. when you're addressing a letter in Japan. If you're writing something and you're in doubt, use sama instead of san just to be safe. I hope this was helpful. Don't forget, in most cases you will be using the san, unless you're with someone relatively young or just plain adorable. 次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。I love animals. Big ones, small ones, fluffy ones, not so fluffy ones, mammals, birds, reptiles, amphibians, you name it, they're all real fascinating. That's why my favorite place to go on my days off is the zoo. Animals are called 動物 in Japanese, which literally means moving things. Isn't that interesting? So the place where the animals roam, the zoo, is called 動物園. So today we're going to meet the various 動物 out there. There are two animals that are very frequently spotted in Japan. Monkeys are called saru in Japanese, and deer are called shika. Nihonzaru, the Japanese snow monkey, can be spotted bathing in onsen, hot springs in winter. And shika, deers, are always roaming around the Todaiji temple grounds in Nara. These guys are great. So let's see what other animals are here. Oh, exotic mammals are so beautiful. Tigers are called tora. Leopards are called hyo. Hippos, kaba. Elephants, zo. And camels are rakuda. I personally love sea mammals. Sea otters are called rakko. They're often seen holding shells. Kai. Oh, by the way, river otters are called kawauso. It's interesting how their names are so different. What's also interesting is how specific the Japanese get with the names of some sea mammals. Seals are called azarashi in Japanese. Sea lions are called ashika or ottosei, depending on their species. And the Steller sea lion gets a species name of its own, Todo. They all look really similar, and I'm not entirely sure where the distinction is, but hey, our language definitely makes it clear to us that these guys are all different. Birds are generally called tori in Japanese. Parrots are called omu. They're very iro azayaka, colorful. Peacocks are kujaku. Tottemo yuga desu ne. Aren't they just so elegant? Owls are called fukuro in Japanese. However, in Japan, there's a distinction made between ones that have rounded heads, fukuro, and the ones that have little bits of feathers sticking out that look like little bunny ears, mimizuku. They are domo, vicious, but extremely kawaii. Lizards are tokage. Crocodiles are wani, and snakes are hebi. These are all examples of reptiles. 爬虫類 in Japanese. Frogs are カエル and toads are ガマガエル. The colorful and cute ones are poisonous. 猛毒 and the other ones just look like Jabba the Hutt and are extremely 気持ち悪い. Disgusting. So now that I've bought an お土産 souvenir, I'm gonna head home. すっごい楽しかったです. That was so much fun. Next time I want to visit the 水族館 aquarium. I'm so excited to see more アザラシ seals. 次回もお楽しみに. またねー。こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。So today I'm going to explain a little bit about connector words. Connector words or transitions are called 接続詞 in Japanese. Similarly to English, they're used in between two sentences to determine the relationship between them. So let's set the scene. Let's say it's my friend's birthday tomorrow and I have to get a gift. And I'm talking to one of my classmates at school about this. Let's say I have already bought a present. I would probably say something along the lines of 明日、友達の誕生日です。だからプレゼントを買いました。Tomorrow is my friend's birthday. Thus, I bought a present. The word だから means so or thus, and the second sentence is the consequence of the first sentence. Let's say I haven't got a present yet. 明日、友達の誕生日です。けれども、まだプレゼントを買っていません。Tomorrow is my friend's birthday, but I still have not bought a present. In these sentences, the word けれども is the connector. It means but. So the second sentence contradicts what is expected when one understands the first sentence. And a more casual day-to-day way of saying this is でも. Okay, now I know I need to get a present, and I'm thinking about it. 明日、友達の誕生日です。つまり、プレゼントを買わないといけません。Tomorrow is my friend's birthday. In other words, I have to buy a present. つまり means which means or in other words. It's similar to だから, but つまり is more for clarifying the first sentence. Because the fact that I still haven't bought a present is making me feel guilty and uncomfortable, I decided to shift the focus to my classmate. I ask, 明日、友達の誕生日です。ところで、プレゼントを買いましたか? Tomorrow is our friend's birthday. By the way, have you bought a present yet? The connector ところで means by the way or well and is used to shift the focus of the sentences. You can use it for things that are related but not quite or something that's completely unrelated. Let's say this is her reply. プレゼントは服または財布にしようと思います。I'm thinking of getting either clothing or a purse. This is a connector word within a sentence. In Japanese, the word または functions the same way or does in English. And finally, I remember how it's also my dad's birthday next week, which means I have to get 2 presents. Bye bye my money. 明日、友達の誕生日です。さらに、来週は父の誕生日です。Tomorrow is my friend's birthday. Moreover, next week is my dad's birthday. さらに means moreover, but not in the sense of and. It's used when the second sentence is building up on the first sentence. Connector words are very important because if you switch one for another, the meaning of your sentences will differ greatly. So if you were to say, 明日、友達の誕生日です。けれども、来週は父の誕生日です。You'll be implying that your dad's birthday is way more important than your friend's birthday. With this in mind, happy practicing, everyone! 次回もお楽しみに。またね! Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Aaron, and I'm the host for the new season of Waku Waku Japanese. はじめまして、エリンです。これからは私と一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。It's my first time doing this. I'm nervous. わあ、ドキドキする。By the way, ドキドキ is an onomatopoeia that represents nervousness in Japanese. でも、頑張ります。応援してね。But I'll be trying my best, so please cheer me on. So today is a special edition of Waku Waku Japanese. I'm going to show you around Japan Society and tell you a little bit about who we are and what we do. So right now, Japan Society is one of the 40 landmark buildings in New York City, competing for restoration grants from partners in preservation. For more information, check out this link here. It also happens that Japan Society is the youngest out of all the landmarks in New York City, as the building celebrated its 40th birthday in September of last year. So today, I'm going to try to convince you to throw in your vote for us by showing you how awesome our building is. Japan Society is located on 47th Street between 1st and 2nd Avenues, right across from the United Nations. UN in Japanese is Kokuren, short for 国際連合. So now let's take a look inside. In the Japan Society building, there are 5 floors. The counter for floor in Japanese is kai. So you can add a number in front of this suffix when you're talking about different levels of a building. So it'll be 1階, 2階, 3階, and so on and so forth. In the basement is our language center. Basement in Japanese is chika. And this is the first floor of the basement, so it'll be chika 1階. Here we have Nihongo Kyoshitsu, or Japanese language classes. We also hold Shodo classes, which is traditional Japanese calligraphy. Right now, I am in the Toshokan, or the library. Why don't you come learn Japanese with us here too? ここでも一緒に日本語を勉強しませんか? So now we're on the first floor, or 1階. On the first floor is our auditorium, where we show 映画, movies, and have various performances, such as dance performances, 踊り in Japanese, theater performances or plays, 劇, and vocal performances, where song in Japanese is 歌. We also hold lectures, which are called 講演 in Japanese. So now let me show you another part of the first floor. Mite kudasai. Please take a look. Our interior evokes a Japanese garden. Wow, sugoi. Isn't it cool? Sugoi desho. Garden in Japanese is niwa, and pond is ike. So now let's go up the stairs and take a look at the second floor. Stairs in Japanese is called kaidan. So now we're on the second floor, 2階 in Japanese. On the second floor is our gallery, 美術館 or 画廊 in Japanese. It's very interesting. 興味津々. The third to fifth floor, 3階から5階, is our office area. Employees in Japanese is 社員, whereas your boss could be referred to as 上司. Right now I'm sitting in my joshi's cubicle, where 机 means desk in Japanese. So now I'll show you a spot that not many people get a chance to see at in Japan Society. Ta-da! This is the roof of Japan Society. Roof level in Japanese is 屋上. From here you can see the scenic views of the city. You would say 風景 in Japanese. Over to the east is the East River, and river in Japanese is kawa. At night, you can see the buildings light up like little stars. 星みたいにキラキラしている。So what do you think? Pretty cool, right? If you agree, show some support by liking us on Facebook and going to the Partners on Preservation website and casting a vote for us. You can vote once a day. Thank you so much in advance. ありがとうございます。次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは。エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。My favorite time of the year is fast approaching. You know what it is? It's Japan Cuts, a 2-week-long festival of contemporary Japanese cinema at our very own Japan Society. It's North America's biggest Japanese film festival, and it's been running for 6 years now. Isn't that amazing? So playing on that theme, today we're going to learn a little bit about movie-related words and phrases in Japanese. Movies are called 映画 in Japanese. Theaters or cinemas are 映画館, where the suffix 館 means the inside of a building. Movie festivals are called 映画祭, where the suffix 祭 means festival. Tickets for the movies are called 鑑賞券, where 鑑賞 means to watch and evaluate, and the suffix 券 means ticket. But you can also just simply call it チケット. The tickets that are bought before the event and not at the door are called 前売り券, where 前 means before and 売り means to sell. Thus, 前売り券 are the tickets that are sold before the event. Premieres at the opening night of a film is called 公開初日 in Japanese, where 公開 means revealing and 初日 means the first day. To watch a movie is 映画を見る or 映画を鑑賞する, and popcorn is just simply ポップコーン in Japanese. Movie genres in Japanese are mostly just Japanese pronunciations of English, like ホラー for horror and アクション for action. However, historical films are one of the exceptions. They are referred to as 時代劇, where 時代 means history and 劇 means play. Chambara, sword fighting movies involving samurai, are also included under 時代劇. And it's interesting that American Western films, the ones with the cowboys and such, are referred to as 西部劇 in Japanese, where 西部 means Western and 劇 means play, similar to the word 時代劇. Talk about being literal! There's one movie genre that I particularly enjoy. Tokusatsu is a movie genre distinct to Japan. These are live-action films that feature superheroes, monsters, mechas, or anything of that sort with abundant use of special effects. For example, Godzilla and Gamera are tokusatsu films. These monsters like Godzilla are called kaiju in Japanese, which literally translates to mysterious beast. So now about the films themselves. Actors are called haiyu and actresses 女優. The suffix yu means talented or gifted, which you have to be able to act. The lead actors and actresses are referred to as 主演, where 主 means head or lead and in means to act, whereas the supporting actors and actresses are called 脇役, where waki means sidelines and yaku means job. The kanji used in these words literally describe their jobs on screen. Film directors are called 監督, but baseball coaches can also be referred to as 監督. Scripts are called 脚本 and screenwriters 脚本家, where 家 is a suffix for a person that specializes in that field. So for example, painters would be called 画家, which means a person that specializes in the visual arts. So these are the Japanese words you might hear in a film festival. And if you happen to be in the New York City area, please stop by Japan Society to check out our film festival. We're showing 37 films and 39 screenings, and it's gonna run from July 12th to the 28th. We'll be screening movies in Japanese, but do not worry. We will have 字幕 subtitles. I hope to see you then! 次回もお楽しみに。またねこんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。Excuse me, an あくび yawn in Japanese escaped from me. すがすがしい朝ですね。I just said, what a refreshing morning, where すがすがしい means refreshing and nice, and 朝 means morning. 今日も一日頑張っていきましょう。Let's work hard and try to be as productive as ever today. What's the first thing you do in the morning? For me, it's slamming my hand on the alarm clock in an attempt to stop it. To stop an alarm clock is 目覚まし時計を止める in Japanese. 目覚まし時計 means alarm clock, where 目覚まし means to wake one up, and 時計 or 時計 means clock. 止める means to halt or stop. But I'm actually guilty of not turning off the alarm. I just hit the snooze button and curl back up. 布団から出られない is how you say it in Japanese, where 布団 refers to bedding, especially blankets. から means from, and 出られない means can't get out. In other words, I just can't get out of bed. And because of this, I occasionally suffer from 寝坊 oversleeping. So after maybe 10 minutes of snoozing, let's wake up. Waking up is 起きる in Japanese. And if you want to say, I just got up, trust me, it's a useful phrase to know when texting or calling your friends in the morning. You can say, 今起きた. Let's go to the bathroom to get ready for a new day. お手洗いへ行く is going to the bathroom in Japanese, where お手洗い is bathroom. If you want to be more casual, you can substitute the simple トイレ for お手洗い to mean bathroom. In the bathroom, you may wash your face. 顔を洗う in Japanese. 顔 is face, and 洗う is to wash. You might also brush your teeth. 歯を磨く where 歯 is teeth and 磨く is to polish or clean. You also might brush your hair. Although in English it's the same word for brush for teeth and hair, in Japanese there's another word. It's 髪を溶かす where 髪 means hair and 溶かす is to brush, specifically for hair. And if you are a girl, you might slap on some makeup. 化粧をする where 化粧 means makeup and する means to do. After you look a little more presentable, no bad head, no bad breath, no saliva on your face, you might put on your clothes. To wear clothing is 服を着る in Japanese, where 服 means clothing and 着る means to wear. To change out of your pajamas is パジャマから着替える in Japanese, where 着替える means to change out. Notice 着る and 着替える sound similar. 着替える is a combination of the root word 着る to wear and 変える to change. The time you have to leave is fast approaching. Let's grab some breakfast. To eat breakfast is 朝ごはんを食べる in Japanese. You might pack a few things in your bag getting ready for school or work. To get ready is 用意をする in Japanese, where 用意 means preparation. Now you're ready to get out of the house. 家を出る where 家 is house and 出る is to go out. To someone who's leaving the house, you would say いってらっしゃい, which literally means go, but in a really polite way. The person leaving may respond 行ってきます, which means I'm going. To be sweet, you can say things like 気をつけてね, which means get there safely, and 遅刻しないでね, don't be late to the person leaving. How about you? ワクワクしていますか? Are you pumped for a new day of school or work? Well, even if not, sometimes you just don't have any way out of it and you have to make the most out of it, right? 元気を出して Be happy. いってらっしゃい. 気をつけて行ってきてね. 次回もお楽しみに. またね. こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。Oh, why does summer break have to end? So sad. So now the fall semester has started and students among us are back in school again. Why not learn Japanese you would hear in a classroom or school setting? School in Japanese is 学校. The word 学校 comes from the words 学 to learn and 校 a place for learning. Elementary school in Japanese is 小学校. In Japan, it's typically 6 years. 6年. Secondary school or junior high is 中学校 in Japanese. It's typically 3 years. 高校 is high school. It's also 3 years long. And finally, college is 大学. Instead of using words like freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior in Japanese, we attach the school and the name of the year to describe one's grade. So if I were to say a senior in high school, I would say 高校3年生. 高校 being the school and 3年生 being third grade. So the third grade in Japanese high school is a senior. I am 大学生 right now. I like 大学 college because we can wear our own clothes. 私服 instead of uniform. 制服 制服すっごい嫌いでした. I hated my school uniform. And here are the names of some of the subjects in school. Subject in Japanese is 科目 or 教科. Math is 数学. 数学は難しいです. Math is hard. Literature is 国語. 国語で本を読みました. I read a book in literature class. Science is 科学. 科学で実験をしました. I did an experiment in science class. And phys ed is 体育. 体育では体操着を着ます. You wear gym clothes during this class. Out of all the subjects, I was the best at art in high school. 高校で私の得意な科目は美術でした. 得意 means you're good at it. So, 得意な科目 means a class you're particularly good at or better at than the other ones. そして苦手な科目は社会でした. And I probably was the worst at social studies. 苦手 means you're weak at something. So, 苦手な科目 is a class you just don't excel at, unfortunately. You can also use the word 苦手 for people, things, or foods you just don't like. So now that these classes are over, it's after school. After school is 放課後 in Japanese. After school activities and extracurriculars are called 部活 in Japanese. And a member of an extracurricular activity, for example, a sports club, is called 部員. So if I were to say a member of our school's kendo club, I would say 私は剣道部の部員です. The 部 in 剣道部 means club, just like how the 部 in 部員 club member means club. And in Japan, there's supposedly a club for people who don't participate in any after-school activities and just go directly home. It's called 帰宅部. where kitaku means to go home. So although they're not really part of an official club, these guys who just go home get lumped together as a category and they're called the Go Home Club. Weird, huh? Although school may not be the most inspiring subject to talk about, I hope this lesson was a little help to everyone. A lot of Japanese mangas and dramas are set in schools, so I'm sure you'll hear some of these words every now and then. 次回もお楽しみに。またねー。こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。When I was young, I used to have a blast playing with dress-up paper dolls. 着せ替え人形 in Japanese. 着せ替え is a combination of the words 着せる to make something or someone wear and 変える to change in Japanese. So 着せ替え means to change clothing or play dress-up in Japanese. So today we're going to play dress-up 着せ替え to learn the names of the various clothing in Japanese. This lesson might be a little emasculating for all our male watchers, but bear with me. I'm sure some of the information will be useful. おーい、着せ替えエリアン。キャー、恥ずかしい。Oh my, so embarrassing. Right now she's only in her underwear. Underwear is 下着 in Japanese. 下 means below or under, and 着 means an article of clothing. So 下着 literally means undergarment. 下着 can be used to describe both male and female underwear. We have to make her wear some clothes. Clothing in Japanese is 服. Western style clothing, the kind of clothes we wear in our day-to-day lives, is referred to as 洋服, where 洋 means Western. So what you and I are wearing right now, it's most likely 洋服. On the other hand, traditional Japanese clothes are called 和服, where 和 means Japanese. So kimonos, yukata, and haori are 和服. But if you were to talk about your own country's traditional dress, you would say 民族衣装, which means a people's or tribe's dress. So 和服 is my 民族衣装. So on to the names of the individual pieces of clothing. Tops or shirts are called シャツ, a Japanese pronunciation of the English shirt. To wear a shirt is シャツを着る, where 着る is to wear. Sleeves on a shirt is called 袖. Long sleeves are 長袖, where 長 comes from the word 長い, which means long. On the other hand, short sleeves are called 半袖, where 半 means half length. And you can also use the word 袖 in the expression 袖を通す, which literally means to pass your arm through your sleeves. It's an expression you use when it's the first time wearing a particular article of clothing. Pants are called ズボン in Japanese, which supposedly comes from the French word for petticoat, although this is not confirmed. Pants that come down to the ankles are referred to as 長ズボン, similar to the 長袖 long sleeves that I mentioned earlier. On the other hand, shorts are called 半ズボン, using the prefix 半 to describe its shorter length. Oh, and a word of note. In Japan, the words pants and shorts are not used in the same context as English. Both words usually mean women's panties in Japanese. So make sure you don't say パンツ売り場はどこですか? Where are the pants, panties, sold in a department store? You'll be looked at strangely. Skirts are called スカート in Japanese. And when you want to describe the act of wearing skirts or pants, you wouldn't say 着る. You would say 履く instead. So it would be スカートを履く or ズボンを履く. The verb 履く is used for any article of clothing that's worn underneath one's waist. So wearing shoes, 靴, socks, 靴下 would also be 靴を履く and 靴下を履く. and it might be cold outside, so you can't forget your jacket. Outerwear is called uwagi in Japanese. And to put on outerwear isn't simply wear or kiru, it's haoru, which comes from the word haori, the traditional Japanese jacket. So you would say uwagi wo haoru when you're putting on a jacket. So now that Arion is all dressed, I guess it's time for us to wrap up. Fall is fast approaching and the air is getting nice and crisp. Make sure you layer up and stay warm. Don't catch a cold. 風邪ひかないでね。次回もお楽しみに。またね。こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。I'm sure many of us would love to go to Japan in the future, either for a vacation or as an exchange student. And of course, it's really different from where you're originally from, right? So why not try to describe what it's like to live in your hometown as a part of introducing yourself to your new Japanese friends? So today we're going to learn how to talk about our hometown in Japanese. So after you're done introducing yourself, はじめまして、エリンです。You will tell your friends where you're from. ニューヨークから来ました。来ました means came from. から means from. So I'm saying I came from New York. You might want to explain what your city's like. For my case, New York's really urban and busy. ニューヨークは都会です。I just said New York's an urban city where 都会 means urban. The opposite of 都会, urban, would be rural, which is 田舎 in Japanese. So if you're from a rural area, you would replace the 都会 with 田舎. And you want to tell them what's awesome about your hometown, right? It's your hometown that made you and you want them to know what that's about. So if you want to introduce a local specialty like a food item, you would use the word 名物 to describe it. For my case, New York's specialty is the wonderful mouth-watering pizza we have on almost every block. ニューヨークの名物はピザです。So if you were to talk about your hometown specialty, you would replace New York with the name of your hometown and pizza with whatever local specialty you want to talk about. And what's great about New York pizzas, you can have them for really cheap. 美味しいピザが安くで食べれます。I just said you can eat yummy pizza for cheap. 安く means cheap, and 食べれます means you can eat. I'm sure there's lots of foods that your hometown's known for that aren't necessarily the most high-end gourmet. Just in case your Japanese friends are planning a trip to where you're from or you want to convince them to come to your hometown, you could maybe suggest places to go visit. 観光スポット is the word for tourist attraction in Japanese. And to maybe sass it up a little bit, you can add the word おすすめ in front, which means my recommendation. So if I were to say, my recommended tourist attraction is the Yankee Stadium, I would say, ニューヨークのおすすめ観光スポットはヤンキーズスタジアムです。If there are other attractions I would like to recommend, I can list them after the words 他にも, which means there's also or in addition. 他にもメトロポリタン美術館やMoMAなどもあります。So here I'm saying there's also the Met and the MoMA. Notice the なども after the list. なども functions in a similar way that to does in English. And to give your friends a final push, you can say ぜひ今度遊びに来てください. Please come by sometime. 今度 means sometime or next time. 遊びに means to come play, and 来てください means please come. The word 遊びに行く go play, or in this case 遊びに来る come play, often implies that you're going on a trip. So you're basically asking your friends to plan a trip to come see you. And what are you going to do once they get here? You're going to show them around. 私が案内します. annai means to show around or give a tour. So, 私が案内します means I'll show you around. Although it's not Japan, you guys should really check out New York sometime if you guys haven't yet. It's a great city and it even has our very own Japan Society in it. ぜひ今度ジャパンソサエティに遊びに来てください。Oh, and one more thing. If you guys have any questions or lesson ideas, just post away. We want to teach what you guys want to learn. 次回もお楽しみに。またねー。こんにちは、エリンです。今日も一緒に日本語を勉強しましょう。So we're all trying really hard to study Japanese, right? But sometimes when you're actually trying to put it into practice, everything you learned previously just completely escapes you. You might not be able to catch the Japanese you're hearing and just get really confused. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a learning process. So today we're going to learn how to tell someone in Japanese to slow down, to repeat what they just said, to get you out of difficult situations like these. If someone's speaking a little bit too fast and you want him or her to slow down just a little bit, you could say, もう少しゆっくり話してください。もう少し means just a little bit more. ゆっくり means slowly. And 話してください means please speak. If you still couldn't catch what they're saying, you can ask them to repeat what they just said. もう一度お願いします。もう一度 means one more time and お願いします means please. So you're basically saying, please sir or madam, one more time. This suffices for please repeat what you just said. Another way to say this is 繰り返していただけますか? The verb 繰り返す means to repeat and いただけますか is a polite way of saying, can you? Notice the お願いします and いただけますか at the end of both these sentences. These are very important so that you don't sound commanding or condescending. You are thanking the person for their time. Among casual friends, you can just say, え? 何? or ん? This is more of a nuance like huh rather than pardon, so you shouldn't use this in class or at work. If you don't understand a particular vocabulary or phrase, you can ask, それはどういう意味ですか? Which means, what does this or that mean? The word 意味 means definition and the verb before it. どういう means, what does it say? So combining them literally means something along the lines of, what is the definition of this and that? If you kind of basically understand what the person's saying, but you can't pinpoint some of the technical or difficult vocabulary, you can ask them to repeat in easier terms. You can say, 簡単な日本語で話してください。簡単 means simple or bare bones in this context. So, 簡単な日本語 means easy Japanese. And if you get everything but this one detail, for example in class, you can ask the teacher or professor to just explain that part again. You would say, something についてもう一度説明してください。説明 is a Japanese word for explain, and について means about something. So you're asking them to explain about something just one more time. もう一度. When they seem to pause to just see if you're doing all right and you want to reassure them that you hear them and that you understand, you can say, どうぞ続けてください, which literally means, please continue. And even after all that you still don't understand, you can say, わかりません, which means, I don't understand. You can maybe ask them to explain it in English. 英語でお願いします. Or go home and study some more on your own to see if you understand it better. Remember, even fluent speakers have to ask many of these questions frequently in their daily lives. It's not embarrassing at all. whenever you don't understand something, you should always speak up. There's a proverb in Japanese. 聞くは一度の恥。聞かぬは一生の恥。Which means, although you might be embarrassed to ask that question that one time, if you don't ask, you will be oblivious about that topic for the rest of your life, and thus are embarrassing yourself forever. With that note, happy studying, everyone! 次回もお楽しみに。またねー。